Good morning, everyone, and welcome to day 11 of our daily meditations for Lent. Day 11 is the Saturday, the first full week of Lent. And we'll get right into it. Excuse me, it's I am releasing this in the morning, but I'm actually recording it on Friday night, right after the live stream that Anthony and I did with Nick Cavassos. So if I'm a little out of it, I apologize, but it's been a long day. But anyway, day 11 of our meditations. Our meditations are once again from Meditations for Lent by Bishop Jacques-Benigne Bossuet. This is published by Sophia Institute Press. They are excerpts of sermons and homilies given by Bishop Bossuet, who is a famous French orator. I'm sure you all know this already because you've all probably watched most of the other 10 videos of this, and I've said all these things before. I doubt we have many new people just starting on day 11, but just in case, we'll cover all the bases. So these are going up on YouTube, on Spiritus TV, as well as all audio podcasts. So I'm going to throw up an image on screen so there won't be anything to look at. And you can just listen to the meditation, and here we go. Day 11, Saturday of the first week of Lent. Love your enemies. Jesus often spoke about the obligation of fraternal charity. He took us beyond the prohibition of killing or even striking a brother. He said that we must not become angry with our brother, nor show our bitterness toward him by injuring him in any way. If we have a dispute, we must be easily reconciled, must not seek to bring our disagreement to an end by taking it before a judge, nor even seek a mediator to heal our division. For Christ is the mediator of our reconciliation, and it is the spirit of his charity and grace that should animate us. We ought to be willing to bend, so that, together with our brother, we can be mutually accommodating. He said that if we come to sense some bitterness in our brother's heart, we must take care to appease him and to prefer reconciliation to sacrifice. But he pushes the obligation still further and uproots the spirit of vengeance. An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. Exodus 21:24. This is what was permitted of old, and it seems to be a certain kind of justice. But Jesus does not allow a Christian either to do it himself or to seek satisfaction in this way. If the public authority punishes crime, the Christian does not prevent it. He respects public order. But for his part, far from avenging himself upon the one who strikes him, he turns the other cheek. He would rather give his coat to the one who would steal his shirt than to seek legal redress for such a small matter and thus burden his mind with legalism and resentment. Matthew 5:39-40. He will more willingly walk 2 miles with someone who would force him to walk 1 than seek justice for himself, or even dream of causing harm to one who had hurt him. Then the tranquility of his heart is more dear to him than the possession of anything that injustice could take away. And if a breach of charity were required to recover something that had been taken away from him, he would not want it at any price. O gospel, how pure you are! O teaching of Christ, how worthy of our love you are! Yet alas, how poorly we Christians respond to it, and how little worthy we are of so lovely of a name. Give to him who begs from you, and do not refuse, as is so often done. him who would borrow from you. Matthew 5:42. Do what you can to care for those who suffer. Be, be beneficent. The sum of the world's riches does not equal the price of these two virtues, nor the reward that they will gain us. Here then are the 3 degrees of charity toward our enemies: to love them, to do good to them, and to pray for them. The first is the source of the second. If we love, we give. The last is the one that we think is the easiest to do, but is in fact the most difficult, because it is the one that we must do in relation to God. Nothing should be more sincere, nothing more heartfelt, nothing truer than what we present to the one who sees all, even into the depths of our heart. Let us examine these 3 degrees: to love, to do good, and to pray. What is it to love those who love you? Do not even the tax collectors do the same? Do not even the Gentiles do the same? Matthew 5:46 through 47. It is not for nothing that you are offered an eternal inheritance and an unchanging happiness. It is not to leave you indifferent or worse than pagans. That's the meditation for today. And I don't know about you, but boy, that is a difficult one for me. Especially in our day and age when justice of all sorts seems to be lacking so much. I think it's something that we jump to very quickly, in most of the time, probably rightly so. But I think sometimes we take it too far, and we'd rather have, the literal definition of justice, the eye for the eye, the tooth for a tooth, instead of doing the harder and better thing of forgiveness and reconciling. So it is one that I know I need to work on myself quite a bit. But pray for me so I can work on that, and I'll pray for you. And once again, I thank you for joining me throughout these, and I hope you're finding them fruitful. And I hope you continue to have a fruitful Lent. And thank you very much, and I'll see you again tomorrow.